What are some of the greatest successes we've had in the company? Not just from a perspective of revenue, but from a perspective of impact as well. When did I come up with that idea? Like, how did that idea for that product or that project or that thing or that hire or that whatever, like this big thing that happened, how did it come about? It's think time.
This is The Fighting Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs looking to change the world. Learn how to start, build, and scale a business in today's highly competitive business environment. Here's your host, The Fighting Entrepreneur, Anik Singal.
What's up, you crazy fighting entrepreneurs? Welcome to the Fighting Entrepreneur Podcast. This is your favorite person in the whole wide world, Anik Singal. What's going on today? Will be a little bit of a shorter episode. I want to talk to you about something called think time. I've been using it for the last couple of weeks, and I am convinced that every time I use think time, I make millions of dollars. And I'm going to give all the credit of this to what led to the thought process. I'm going to give some credit to Chris Winters. I was watching a podcast episode between him and someone else, and he mentioned something. I'm going to tell you the whole story in a minute. And it led me to having this fire, like my brain started firing. And next thing I know, like, man, some magic is happening. I did some reflection, realized, dude, I've been doing this for a long time and have made millions of dollars from it. So here we go. But before we go there, Lurn.com, Lurn.com. Come on, are you going to stand on the sidelines and watch this massive entrepreneurial movement just march right by you? Or are you going to join? We're putting 10 million entrepreneurs into this platform. That's my commitment to you. All over the world, we're going to connect you. We're building social features. We're doing some killer stuff. Go to Lurn.com. Get your membership. We have over 300,000 people already in there from all over the world. We have amazing courses, all teaching you how to be an entrepreneur. Because remember, us entrepreneurs, we are the ones that will change the world, not the governments. And if we can stick together, if we can actually connect with one another, the ideas we come out with and the way we apply those ideas is going to skyrocket. So entrepreneurs, let's change the world. Go to Lurn.com, sign up. All right, free, make it happen. All right, now let's talk about think time, how I use it to make millions of dollars. So I've done this for so long, I just haven't made it into a ritual up until a couple weeks ago, and I love it. So you entrepreneurs, let's talk about a couple of problems entrepreneurs face a lot. A lot of entrepreneurs feel overwhelmed. We kind of feel like you've got 17 hands holding onto your shirt, pulling you in 17 different directions. Everyone needs you, wants you, and you are the number one problem solver in your company, right? That's why you're an entrepreneur. You're a problem solver. So guess what? Everyone wants you to solve their problems. It's just the way it is. You find yourself in a weird conundrum a lot of times as an entrepreneur that you kind of feel like you should just do everything yourself because you seem to do it right. And it's quicker many times for you to just do it yourself versus giving it to other people. I know you're listening right now and thinking, oh my God, does Anik know me? Is he stalking me? No, you're not alone. Most entrepreneurs feel this way. It's overwhelming. It's stressful. You're not getting enough sleep because you just have so many jobs on your plate. And it seems like the more people you hire, the tougher your life gets, the more work you get. What's going on? So, I've been in and out of that feeling in the past before, and there gets to be a point where you, as an entrepreneur, weirdly enough, are no longer working for the vision or for your dream you're not being the visionary. You're just like working in the job. So you just have a job. And actually, I've had this as a joke. Sometimes entrepreneurs, we become an entrepreneur to get away from having a boss only to find ourselves in a company where we have 20 employees and we find ourselves having 20 bosses. I'm not even kidding. There's been times in my company where I felt like I work for everybody else. It's not the other way around. So, and it's not an ego thing. That's not how I can best give to this company. That's not how I can best lead this company. So I start to think about, I took a moment to reflect on this past Sunday, and from the time I'm recording this, so not from the time you're listening to it. And I remember asking myself, what are some of the greatest successes we've had in the company? Not just from a perspective of revenue, but from a perspective of impact as well. What are some of the greatest successes I've had? And every single time I thought of something, there was a few big ones, I would connect that. And I thought to myself, when did I come up with that idea? Like, how did that idea for that product or that project or that thing or that hire or that whatever, like this big thing that happened, how did it come about? And I went into this reflection thinking, hypothesizing that I knew the answer, I thought. But I wanted to see if I individually thought through each one, if I would arrive at the same answer. And I did. It's think time. So let's talk about think time. So I'm listening to this podcast episode that Chris Winters did with Mike someone. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. But anyways, and it's an hour and a half or so long episode. And there's like literally a 30-second clip that I caught that just went and like just impacted me. And in that, Chris talks about how, so Chris is running this big organization. Well, not actually, it's only like 10 people, but he's making $1 million a month in profit. That's something you want to listen to, right? We'll get Chris, by the way, onto this podcast one of these days soon. And Chris says that there's one thing sacred about his workday to him, and that is that the first 3 hours he wakes up, that the first 3 hours of the day, he's unreachable, and he only does what he should do. Now, there's a couple of golden nuggets in here that really change, like, wow, mind-blown moments. He said, first of all, he looks at his to-do list. Like, so I use Asana and I have a to-do list. And he says he separates his list of tasks for the day into a to-do and a should-do. Let me repeat, a to-do and a should-do. So what he does is the first 3 hours of every day, he turns his phone off, he's unreachable, and he only works on the should-do. And I remember thinking like, yeah, I definitely have to-dos and should-dos. But here's the cool part. He starts his day fresh mind and focuses on the things that are the most instrumental, that make the biggest impact to the company. They tend to be the kinds of things that entrepreneurs actually like to do the most anyways. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been testing it. As a matter of fact, for the first few hours, I disappear. Sometimes you don't even know where I am. I may not even be in the office. If I'm in the office, I'm sitting somewhere else. I'm sitting not in my office. I'm sitting elsewhere. Basically, the core is my team doesn't know I'm there. They can't see me. They don't hear me. And if they message me, I don't reply. Seriously, guess what? Everyone else says, oh, Anik, what if there's an emergency? There's never an emergency. I'm telling you, stop living under that false pretense and changing your entire day due to it. There's never an emergency. If there is, they'll find me. Someone will find me. It's only 3 hours. Relax. So I just do the should do. And what I find is my first like 30 to 45 minutes of that 3 hours tends to be think time. We don't need a lot of think time to be really lethal as entrepreneurs if we do it every day. But like 5 days a week. Like Saturdays and Sundays are free. I can do whatever I want, but like Monday through Friday. So I end up doing about 30 to 45 minutes. It's plenty of think time. What's think time? I just literally think. I just sit back and I'm like, I wonder what's going on in my business. What are challenges I'm having? What is stressing me out right now? What's an opportunity that's really doing well? Who is someone that I really need to connect with? What is something happening in my industry that I really need to dissect? Is there a book I've read? Have I taken a moment to reflect upon the book? Do you know how many people read a book and never reflect upon it? I mean, literally. You finish a book, do you ever just take 20 minutes to sit back and say, what were my takeaways from that? What did I learn? Was there something I should reread? Did I like it? Did I not like it? We just, bam, it's like a trophy. We boom, 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 pound through the book, put it up on a shelf, get the next one. I don't do that, not anymore. I finish a book and I sit back and I think about it. I've done that for a long time, actually. So and I find that 30 to 45 minutes, if I'm doing it every day, I run out of stuff to think about. But typically my think time ends up being very connected to my should do time. And so I just migrate from my think time into like, now let me do the very big tasks, the things that I truly am the one in the company to do. Sometimes they might be something like, I need to watch this training. Right now, I'm taking a training course because I want to learn something, because we have a big project we're thinking about in 2020. I haven't announced it. I don't even know if I'm doing it. We're thinking about it right now. All right. But all the numbers look great. Everything looks great. Looks like we are going to do it. So I'm learning. There's a lot of things in that arena for me to learn about. So I'm learning. I'm taking courses. I'm watching things. I'm watching videos on YouTube. I love it. I'm in like cloud 9, man. It's bliss. So I start my day doing stuff like that. There's some projects where maybe I have to be the one that's reviewing the copy, writing the copy. There's projects that I'm thinking through that I have to financially model that aren't even going to happen for 4 months. But man, if I could start doing it now, I can get the team running on it. And that's the kind of stuff I love doing. So I decided to take what I heard from Chris, this is about 2 weeks ago now, and apply it, a little less than 2 weeks. And I am finding some really interesting results from it. First and foremost, I am getting a crap load done. Excuse my language. I'm getting so much stuff done. Like, I'm actually finding myself done with the day by 5:30, which is stupid confusing to me. All right? I am knocking out, and when I make myself publicly available to the team, it's usually between 11 and 12. I'm finding that I'm in such a good mood. I'm in such a good place because my key things for the day are done. I am not trying to work around my team's schedule and demands of me to make the time to do the key things in the business. I have already completed them. They are done. My day is done. As far as if I ended that day, it would be a good day. This is not even 11 or 12 and I've had a good day. And now I make myself available to the team. Well, here's what's been happening. And I know my team listens to this podcast, so I hope I'm not giving away too much here. My team doesn't need me anymore. I find, I've actually tested this. I find that if I'm present for the first few hours of the day, my team seems to need me a lot more that day. Versus if I am not around the first few hours of the day, they seem to forget about what they need from me. Maybe they go figure it out. Maybe I'm not around. Maybe they don't see me. But when I show up about halfway through the day, I find myself available, ready, and no one wants me. So I innately end up getting even more think time. I get even more production time, even more time to do the big tasks and to call on meetings that I want to have. Isn't that crazy? So this power of think time, and yes, right now, the last 2 weeks, I invested a lot of think time into this project. Right now, I got to tell you, I'm not even kidding. I'm not trying to get too excited about it. I don't want to move too fast on it. But I'm very methodically going through it. We are even doing beta. We did an alpha test. We're doing a beta test. We're doing a marketing test. We're looking at data. I'm compiling evidence, statistics. I'm doing a focus group soon. I mean, we're doing full-blown investigation. I'm going to not be an impulse-driven entrepreneur. However, all of the things look great. And that 2 weeks of think time, I believe in 2020 will be worth between 15 to 20 $1 million in sales of a new division. And it'll go back to that 2 weeks of think time. So Chris, thanks for that. And for all of you, try it. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs, oh my God, I can't do that. Oh my God, I have to be there. My team has meetings at 9. Move it. Move the meeting to 1. Seriously, you run the company. Do something. Move the meetings. Trust me, nothing ever falls apart. People just adjust. Oh my God, I have this at that time, this is that time. Take the first couple of hours. I just find myself, I'm in a better mood the whole day. I'm just happier. Listen, as an entrepreneur, the happier and better mood you're in, you're just going to be that much more impactful, powerful, productive, and innately you'll be a better leader. It's just all great. So 2 weeks in, it's not something totally new to me. I've done it in the past. I just never had a ritual around it. I do now, and the results have been tremendously powerful. Try it. Tell me what you think. If you're watching this or listening to it, go to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, leave me a comment below. Click subscribe. Click the bell icon. Click the thumbs up icon. If you're listening to us, go to Anik Podcast for all of our amazing episodes, anikpodcast.com for all of our kick butt episodes. Go there and leave us, please go to iTunes and leave us a great 5-star review. Tell everybody you know about this amazing podcast. Tell the world, all right? Get the message out there, all right? So with that said, remember, when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, push it the heck back. This is Anik Singal. Come on, fighters. Go out there and fight for your dreams. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.